we're going to read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. One of them was smoking a long pipe. A little man in a top hat was talking to the old barman, who was quite bald and looked like a gummy walnut. The low buzz of chatter stopped when they walked in. Everyone seemed to know Hagrid. They waved and smiled at him, and the barman reached for a glass, saying, "The usual, Hagrid." "Can't tell my mouth Hogwarts business," said Hagrid, clapping his great hands on Harry's shoulder and making Harry's knees buckle. "Good Lord," said the barman, peering at Harry. Can this be? The leaky corridor had suddenly gone completely still and silent. "Bless my soul," whispered the old barman. "Harry Potter! What an honor!" He hurried out from behind the bar, rushing towards Harry and seized his hand, tears in his eyes. "Welcome back, Mr. Potter, welcome back." Harry didn't know what to say. Everyone was looking at him. The old woman with the pipe was popping on it when realizing it had gone out. Hagrid was beaming. Then there was a giant scrape of chairs, and next moment Harry found himself stacked hands with everyone in the leaky cauldron. "Doris Crapple, Mr. Potter, I can't believe I'm meeting you at last. So proud, Mr. Potter, I'm just so proud. Always wanted to shake your hand. I'm all of a flutter." "Sorry?" "Delighted, Mr. Potter. Just can't tell you. Digger's the name. Diddless Digger." "I've seen you before," said Harry, also as Diddless Digger's top hat fell off in his excitement. You bowed me once in a shop." "He remembers," cried Diddless Digger, looking around at everyone. "Did you hear that? He remembers me." Harry shook hands again and again. Doris Cropper kept coming back for more. A pale young man made his way forward, very nervously. One of his eyes were twitching. "Professor Quirrell," said Hagrid. "Harry, Professor Quirrell will be one of the teachers at Hogwarts." "Potter," stammered this Professor Quirrell, gasping. Harry said, Can't tell you how pleased I am to meet you." "What sort of magic do you teach, Professor Quirrell?" The defense against the dark arts," muttered Professor Quirrell, as though he'd rather not think about it. Not that you need it, eh, Potter?" He laughed nervously. "You'll be getting all your equipment, I suppose. I've got to pick up a new book on vampires myself." He looked terrifiedly at the very thought, but the others don't let Professor Quirrell keep Harry to himself. It took almost 10 minutes to get away from them all. At last, Hagrid managed to make himself over the babble. Must get on. Roustabye, come on, Harry." Doris Cropper shook Harry's hand one last time, and Hagrid led them through the bar and outside into a small walled country, where there were nothing but the dustbin and a few weeds. Harry grinned at Harry. "Told you, didn't I? Told you were famous." Even Professor Quirrell was trembling to meet you. Mind you, he's usually trembling. "Is he always that nervous?" "Oh yeah, poor Brock. Brilliant mind. He was fine when he was sending out the books, but then he took a year off to get some fiction experience. Then they say he met vampires in the Black Forest, and there was a nasty bit of trouble with the hag. Never been the same since. Scared of the students, scared of his own subject. Now where's my umbrella? Vampires, hags?" Harry's head was swimming. Hagrid, meanwhile, was counting bricks on the wall above the dustbin. 3 up, 2 across," he muttered. "Right, stand back, Harry." He tapped the wall 3 times with the point of his umbrella. The brick he had touched touch quivered. It wiggled in the middle. A small hole appeared. It grew wider and wider. A second later, they were facing an archway large enough even for Hagrid. An archway onto a covered street which twisted and tore out of sight. "Welcome," said Hagrid, "to Diagonally." He grinned at Harry's amazement. They stepped into the archway. Harry looked quickly over his shoulder and saw the archway shrinking instantly back into solid wall. The sun shone brightly on a stack of corridors outside the nearest shop. Curtains, all sizes, copper, brass, pewter, silver, self-steering, copper, and the sign hang over them. "Yeah, you'll be needing one of them," said Hagrid, "but we gotta get the money first." Harry wished he had about 8 more eyes. He turned his head in every direction as they walked up the street, trying to look at everything at once: the shops, the things outside them, the people doing their shopping. A plump woman outside an apothecary was shaking her hand as they passed, saying, "The Dragon Leaper, 16 secrets and ouch, they're mad." A low, soft hooting came from a dark shop with a sign that says, "Everest Our Emporium, Tory, Switch, Brown and Snowy." Several boys about Harry's age had their nose pressed against the window with broomsticks in it. "Look," Harry heard one of them say, "the new Nimbus 2000, fastest ever." There were shops selling robes, shops selling telescopes, and strange silver instruments Harry had never seen before. Windows dragged with barrels of bed spins, and ears-eyes torturing piles of spellbooks, quills and rolls of parchment, pointy borders and grouched up the moon. "Gringotts," said Hagrid. They had reached a snowy white building which towers over the other little shops. Standing beside its brushed bronze doors, wearing a uniform for slightly or gold, was the end. So this is it today of today's reading. So we will continue next time. Bye bye. 안녕.